Good morning. Welcome to First Congregational United Church of Christ. My name is Reverend Robin Lund, and it is an honor and a privilege to share ministry with this congregation. It is also a deep privilege to celebrate Betty Jean Thompson Helm's life. Most of us just knew her as Betty. And the gifts that she shared for over 100 years with some of you way more than others of us. But what a gift to be here to celebrate such a long and really amazing life. We come to this place and we also remember that we are on the Kalapuya Elihi, the ancestral lands of the Kalapuya people. The Salem waterfront, which they know as Chimicatee, has long been a site of gathering and meaning. And so we honor the original stewards of this land and the indigenous people that continue to make important contributions in their communities and ours, and across the land we now know as Oregon. And I want to take a minute and just acknowledge the folks who are at home. We are live streaming so we can make this available to more folks. So I want to say welcome to you as well. And because of the way we offer hospitality, we say every Sunday, and you are welcome to share this with me if you know it, that no matter who you are or where you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. So I invite you to join together and say this call to celebration that you will find in your bulletins. A generation comes and goes, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and sets and rises again. All of the streams run to the sea, and yet the oceans are never full. The gift of life is a mystery greater than we can comprehend. It is full of joy and celebration. It is woven with sorrow and regret. It is blessed with pleasure and delight. It is touched by pain and grief. We receive it as a gift unasked for. We let it go as a precious treasure beyond value. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what was planted, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to weep and a time to laugh. Even the tallest cottonwoods by the riverside must fall one day. Even the most ancient redwood will one day return to the soil. O keeper of our days, in our loss, we are consoled by your promise of eternal life. In our grief, we are strengthened by the precious memories of Betty, laughter shared, work accomplished, and a life so fully lived. So let us stand in body or spirit as we are able and sing the hymn number 423 in the dark hardbound hymnal, Great is Your Faithfulness. Betty created this worship service, so all of these selections are hers and a gift to us today. Please be seated. We'd like to invite Betty's daughter Louise to come up and share reading the obituary.
Okay. Well, we all love speaking. So guess what I don't love? Yeah. Anyway, Mom had graciously written her obituary. So I'll be reading a lot of what she had written, and I do have some extra little tidbits in there that I'll share with people as I remember things. And she had written her life journey as well. So some things are out of that, and some things are things that I recall. So this is for Betty Jean Thompson Helm, and most all of this is in her words. I was born October 16th, 1925, to Reuben and Avon Ella Fant Thompson in Phoenix, Arizona. And I mention her middle name Ella because that was her grandma, and her grandma made it to 99. And downstairs there's pictures, and her grandma is in one of them. It was a special day for her because it was her mother's birthday and her grandmother's birthday too. They were all born on the same day, 3 generations, which is incredible. When I was two, we moved to Manitou, Oklahoma, where my grandpa and grandma Fant had a farm, and my dad was working as a banker. One of the things she remembers, or I remember speaking for her, was my aunt and uncle had a daughter, Eltine, which was her cousin. And Eltine had a baby brother, Edwin, and I found out I was going to have a baby brother too. My mom let me help get ready for Ray, my baby brother. What fun. We made things, even diapers. Can you imagine? He was born May 5th, 1930, and I was 4 years old. Happy day. Then my dad got a better job in Ralston, so we moved there. The 2 things I remember about Ralston, the first one was when Mom and I were downtown with my brother in a buggy, and a big Indian came over and looked at my baby brother. Then he told Mom he would like to have him, and how much would she take? Of course, she told the Indian that he wasn't for sale. But I bet that's one of those stories that maybe my cousins haven't heard about their dad. The second thing she remembers is when she went by the bank on her way to school, and Dad gave me a nickel for candy. I bought the candy and put it in my lunch bag. When Dad came home that night, he asked how my friends liked the candy. And when I said I hadn't shared my candy, I got a lecture about sharing. The Great Depression hit, and the bank Dad worked in went bankrupt. We lost everything and moved back to Arizona, staying with Mom's parents. When I started school there, I had cousins with me because Mom had 3 sisters and a brother in Scottsdale. We celebrated birthdays, holidays, and any other special occasions. Dad never went back to banking, but was a grocery store clerk and delivered ice and coal. But on the side, he bought homes, fixed them up, and sold them. I went to 9 elementary schools before starting high school. And when Dad got a new job, we moved, and we moved a lot. When Ray or I got upset, Mom would sing to us. I can hear her now. Count your blessings. Name them one by one. It will surprise you what the Lord has done. That has been one of my favorite songs ever since. On Sundays, we all went to the Baptist church in Scottsdale, and when I was 13, I gave my heart to the Lord, and he has been my guide ever since. When I started 8th grade, I was called BJ because there were 5 Bettys in my class, and the nickname followed me through high school. Apparently, she said that as they went through, and she was towards the end of the alphabet because she was a Thompson, She said that, the first person got to keep the name Betty, and then everybody else got, some kind of deviation of the name. So she got BJ, which I thought was pretty dang good. There was only one high school in Phoenix, and there were over 5,000 students. She says, I know that because I was number 5,017. During those high school years, I rode my bike to school every day, especially when I had to be there at 7 a.m. for a cappella choir practice. I met Stan, love of my life, in history class when I was a sophomore and he was a junior. When he graduated, he left Arizona for Baylor University in Texas, studying to become a minister. And when I graduated, I went to Baylor as well to become a teacher. When he graduated in 1946, we got married. Our honeymoon was traveling all over the northern part of Arizona. When we returned to Phoenix, we got on a bus for Campbell, California, because that's where Mom and Dad were living. They had 2 small rentals, and we lived in one while I attended San Jose State for my last 2 years of college. Stan went to work for a photo shop, and when I graduated, Stan started at Berkeley Baptist Divinity School, and I got my first job teaching school in Richmond. We stayed there a total of 3 years until Stan graduated in 1952, and we moved to Pleasanton, where he was chaplain at the Alameda County Prison Farm. I was born 2 days after Christmas that year, and Mom came to help me for a week until she had to return home for a doctor appointment. She found out she had cancer and died the next December, 4 days before Christmas. What a sad time, but I was so happy she had been able to see little Louise before her death, and she had also been able to see my brother Ray's son, Dennis, who was born in February of 53. In August of 55, I got polio. My next door neighbor had a little girl about the same age as me, and she took care of her because I couldn't. I was pregnant, and my doctor sent me to a chiropractor to help me regain my strength so I could be a mom again. Deborah, my sister, was born in February of 1955, and we praised the Lord she was all right. We moved a couple more times, and in 1958, Stan got a job at Mendocino State Hospital as their chaplain. I got a job teaching and continued for a total of 30 years altogether. Dorothy Cooper was her teaching partner for kindergarten, and they became very close friends. Her son Alan is here today, having visited faithfully with Mom for years from Portland, Beaverton area. And she loved you very much, Alan. Stan and I built our retirement home in Fort Bragg, California in 1974, renting it out at times and moved in permanently in the late 70s. Stan's health was not so good, but he learned to eat a lot of different vegetables, which I grew in the garden. And she mentions this only because of the fact that he had never liked vegetables very much, and she always was trying to get him to eat his vegetables. He passed away December 14th, 1993, and after having several strokes, and then in 2005, she moved here to Salem. And the thing that surprised me about her move was that at that time, she was 79 years old. And that was a big move, moving from one state to another. And I'm thinking about it only because I'm 73 and can't imagine wanting to have done that. When she moved, it just seemed so normal for her, nothing was stopping her. She bought a large house to share with her grandkids, which we found while looking for homes in the area. We had just looked at a place in Kaiser when we decided to take a break and get coffee at a Dairy Queen nearby. Outside that door, there was a for sale by owner booklet. And inside, we found the home that she finally purchased. Both girls married. I was married to Joe in 1981, and we currently live in Dufur. And now we also spend half our time in Tucson, Arizona. My sister Debbie married Lynn, her high school sweetheart, in 1972, and they had 2 children, Michelle and Eric, who both live in Salem. Eric blessed me with my great-granddaughter, Mahaley, and who is known to some of you because she does attend church here. Anyway, and sadly, Deborah was killed in an auto accident in May of 2008. Now I'm leaving my family and my brother-raised children who are here today, or at least most of them, to be with the Lord. Rejoice. Love to everyone, Betty. So my final message is, because Mom taught us a love of reading as children, we've made bookmarks in her memory, which are available to everyone. There were some located out front, and I'm sure a lot of people picked them up there. And then there are also some located downstairs. Share a memory cards are also available downstairs for anyone wishing to write a memory down. They're at the first table as you go downstairs on the right at the end of that table. Thank you all for being here today and celebrating her life with us. And next will be Michelle, my niece, her granddaughter.
Wow, look at all those beautiful faces. Thank you to everyone for coming today. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I share the honor of standing before you to celebrate the incredible life of my grandmother, Betty Helm. Again, thank you all for being here today. Family, friends, church members, and all those whose life Betty touched in her 100 years on this earth. Betty wasn't just my grandmother. She was like a second mom to me when I lost my own mother too soon. For as long as I can remember, she was a steady, loving presence, kind, wise, and endlessly giving of herself. I was lucky enough to have known her all of my life and been the recipient of so much love and wisdom, and even a loving thump when I needed it. It's hard to sum up a century of life and love in just a few minutes, but if you knew Betty, you know she lived her life with a purpose and faith that never wavered. Again, in her own words, when she was 13 years old, she gave her heart to the Lord, and he was her guide ever since. She had a heart that made room for everyone. She was a kindergarten teacher, an elementary school teacher for many years, and she instilled community, kindness, and love for learning into hundreds of children over the years. She loved teaching with a passion, and she always said that she couldn't wait to get up in the morning and go to work. What a blessing she was to those children and families. My favorite place to be as a child was my grandparents' house. They had a house built on a bluff overlooking the ocean outside of Mendocino, California, and I loved visiting there almost every weekend, even though I got terribly car sick every time. Graham and I spent hours on the beach collecting rocks and shells, and we challenged each other over who could find the smallest shell. She usually won. But she also spent that time, of course, teaching me about life and love and God and what an amazing world this is, and that we are the hands and feet of God and that we need to act like it. I feel incredibly lucky to have shared so many amazing moments with her, and I will honor her by carrying forward the lessons and wisdom she shared with me. She loved this church deeply. It was her community, her home, a reflection of her faith. She thrived on the connections she made at Women's Fellowship, Bible study, Camp Adams weekends, and through countless hours of fellowship. She even loved to volunteer with Family Promise, and she even continued to help by making phone calls. If you were called by Betty Helm to volunteer, you said yes. Her faith guided her, strengthened her, and shaped the way she saw the world. She said the Lord is always with her, and I believe that was very true. One of the most important lessons she's taught me was to love others, even when it's hard. She always said that following Jesus' example meant loving beyond convenience, and I try to live that way because of her. So today, as we remember my grandma, I feel some sorrow, but mostly gratitude. Gratitude for every conversation, every hug, every shared moment that now lives in my heart. Her legacy is in how deeply she loved, and I will carry her memories forever. And now she rests in peace of the Lord she loved so much. And on a personal note, also, Louise and I wanted to thank Maria and Kate Cruz for all their love and care this past year. I believe that my grandmother lived longer because of all that love and all the chicken nuggets. If you know, you know. I can never really thank them enough for taking her into their home and their tender care. And now I'd like to ask Mahaley to come up, great-granddaughter.
Hello, my name is Mahaley, and I have the honor of being Betty's great-granddaughter. I tried to fit everything into words, but there's nothing that can describe Betty. I want to thank everyone here to celebrate such an amazing woman. She greatly impacted my life. And I'm sure she greatly impacted yours as well. Since I was little, I always looked up to my grandma. I was blessed to have cherish. I was blessed, and I will cherish her memories. I loved being at her house. While it was a sunny summer, we would always walk out and go pick blueberries and keep them in little cardboard containers in my pink Dora Jeep. I knew that was grandma. I knew I was lucky to have my grandma for such a long life, but I still wish she could be here longer. I always wish she could at least make it till I was a bit older, but obviously that wouldn't be possible. I was blessed to be able to create these memories with her in the 15 years I've had her. I will never be the same without my grandma. I will forever cherish our memories and keep a special place in my heart for her. I always remember the times that we sit on the balcony blowing bubbles. We would play with toys and watch cartoons as we wait for my Aunt Michelle to get home and eat dinner as a family. I will carry her love with me for the rest of my life, and even though she may not be here beside me anymore, I know that every memory, every lesson, and every bit of life she got to live with me, I was lucky to have such an amazing woman as my grandma, and I will miss her every single day.
Thank you, Judith. I invite you to join me in this prayer of thanksgiving for Betty. Will you pray with me? God of steadfast love, we give you thanks for the life of your servant, Betty Jean Thompson Helm, for the long arc of years you granted her, and for the quiet faithfulness with which she lived them. We thank you for the child born on a day already filled with family joy, and for a girl who learned early to count her blessings, even in hardship, and for the young woman who gave her heart to you and trusted you to guide her life. We thank you for the love she shared with Stan, for her partnership in ministry with him, and for the places they lived and the communities they touched. We thank you for her vocation as a teacher, for the countless students whose lives were shaped by her patience, wisdom, and care. We give thanks for the family she cherished, for Louise and Joe, for Michelle and Eric and Mahaley, for nieces and nephews and friends who became family, for laughter around tables, birthdays and holidays, for the steady thread of love that ran through her life. And we remember those who went before her, for her beloved Stan and their daughter Deborah, and all those whose absence she carried with courage and faith. Now we trust that she is gathered into the communion of saints, resting in the mercy of the one she loved and served. For Betty believed that the Lord had guided her life, and even in her final words, she told us simply, rejoice. So today we give thanks. We give thanks for a life well lived, for faith that endured through hardship and joy, and for the promise that nothing, not even death, can separate us from your love. So hear our prayers, O God, as we join our voices with Christians across time and space, praying the prayer that Jesus taught his followers to pray, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. The next hymn is one of Betty's favorites that she picked out. I remember her loving to sing this in the few times we had a chance to do that. Number 433 in the black hardbound hymn. seated. Betty didn't pick this text, but it feels incredibly fitting for the person you've all described in the brief moment I had a chance to know her. So I'm going to share 1 Corinthians 13 this morning. If I speak in tongues of humans or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my very body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there is prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, and when I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now, we see only a reflection as in a mirror, and then we will see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So as Louise and I both said, Betty planned this service, and she gave me one very clear instruction. Don't talk very long. I am honored that she wanted me to say anything, so I will try to keep this short. The scripture we heard from 1 Corinthians 13 is most often heard at weddings. But Paul was not talking about romance. He was writing to a community, trying to figure out what it meant to live as human beings. People often measure life by accomplishments, what we build, what we achieve, what we know. But Paul says that all of those things are not the center. You can have knowledge and great accomplishments and even great faith and still miss the point. The heart is about love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That's not romance. That's something bigger. And then Paul says something truly remarkable. Many things in life come to an end. Knowledge ends, achievements end. Things that seem permanent are actually impermanent. But love, that love that is greater than our comprehension, does not end. And I think that's the message that Betty wanted us to leave with today. When she wrote the words of her own story, she didn't end with a list of her accomplishments. She didn't give us a list of milestones. She gave us a list of relationships. And then in the end, she said, what did she say? Rejoice. That's not a denial of grief, but a way of seeing life through the lens of love, recognizing that the goodness we share with one another does not disappear when somebody relocates. The love that we give shapes one another, and it shapes the world. It carries forward through families and friendships and communities. It becomes part of the world long after we are gone. And so maybe that's why Betty chose the music she did for us today. Because if love is the heart of life, and I agree with Betty, then the work of those of us who remain is simple and profound. To keep living that love in the world. And so we're going to sing 2 more songs. The next one is Let There Be Peace on Earth. And I think she wanted to remind us of something here, that we carry forward the love that she believed in, which begins with each one of us and goes out into the world. So God's love can make everything new. So rest in joy, Betty, and let us sing. I invite you to join a family downstairs as we share a meal and stories. And remember this love that endures, that we carry in our hearts. Go from this place embodying for a world that needs what Betty gave you, that you can give back to the world. Go in blessed peace. We are going to sing her grandmother's song. Right? Count your blessings. When you are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, know them
Oh, actually, the blue's insane. Yeah, Benny, I'm gonna keep it. Sorry. I'm gonna sleep. You're taking it right now. There's like a solo thing with me. Not you, it's not you. It's okay. Get the whole thing. There's like a solo thing. Solo thing. Why is it just sitting here? Can we start? You guys want to go downstairs? Yeah. Can we start ushering people out?